Shalom, shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Yahweh is the Most High God. Yahushai is the Son of God, the true names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Right, again, Yahweh is the Most High God. Yahushai is the Son of God, the true names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Right, this lesson is going to concern the parable of the foolish rich man. Right, because in this society, in this world, that's our people's only aim, is becoming rich and successful, having an abundance in this world, prospering in this world. Which, when you go into it, when you get an understanding, riches is transitory, it's temporal, it's here one moment and gone another. So it's ultimately vanity, which goes into or translates to empty. Right, this knowledge, this understanding, this truth is precious. It's really the only thing valuable that we ought to have, man. That is, right? I got a couple of precepts I want to go into, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. And there might be a noise in the background. I'm going to stop talking when it happens. But, it will, soon stop. Let's go to the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 15. It says, and he said unto them, and these are the words of Yahushai. It says, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. Which, when you go into that word covetousness, it goes into desire or to long for. So don't desire or long for these riches or abundance of this earth, for these materialistic things, for that house, for that mansion, for that large, land, for that pool, for that, car, etc. Right? Beware of covetousness. Right? Says, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. That's not your life. Right? Really, a man can have an abundance and can be rich in his life, but still be spiritually dead. What gives you life is this truth, this word. Right? This word quickeneth you. Right? It speaks about in if I'm not mistaken, in 1 Kings or 2 Kings, it speaks about this, this word, this vision, or this word is precious, which goes into valuable or weighty. This word is the only weighty, valuable thing in this world full of vanity, full of emptiness. It says, for man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. Verse 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. So this man had an abundance. Right? He had, great substance. It says, and this is a parable, which when you go into the word parable, it goes into a similarity. A similarity. So this parable is really, a similar to really rich men in this world. Right? And we could get an understanding. Right? It says, verse 17, and he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. Meaning he had no room to store his fruits. He had no place to store his fruits. Right? It says, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. So let's read verse 18 again. It says, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns. See, what people don't understand is, though our heart devises our steps. Really, the Lord decides what happens, what we do, what we not going to do, how long we live. The Lord decides everything, man. Right? It speaks about in the book of James chapter 4, verse 13. Let's get that real quick. I'm going to go line upon line, precept upon precept, so we can get understanding. So this rich man, he thought within himself, this will I do, I will pull down. So he basically planned what he wanted to do. This was his plan, his device, if you will, his imagination, his wish or his desire. But the people will soon realize in this world that it don't matter what you desire, what you wish for. Right? These prophecies is going to come to pass. The end of the world is here. Right? Famine is coming. Destruction is coming. And all your desires, it don't matter. All your desires is going to utterly fail. You know, let's get James chapter 4, verse 13. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year, and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? Right? Because you cannot say, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow, or I'm going to do this next week. I plan to do this, or I desire to do this. Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. You could get in a car accident next week. You could have a heart attack next month. So all that planning you're doing, all that devices that you have, which device goes into plans or determinations. All that shit is vanity. Right? Man ought to say Yahweh while Yahweh Shah willing. Right? Because ultimately the Lord decide if you live another couple of weeks. The Lord decides, or the Lord determines your life, if you will. Right? Your life is already fixed. You could desire to buy a mansion, and you end up dying before even buying it. That's why it's so important to get right with the Lord right now. Do that which is right in the sight of the Lord right now. It says, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. You know, so your life is like a vapor that appeareth is now gone, man. A smoke that will soon fade away. Right? It says, and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. So we ultimately really should say, Yahweh why Yahweh Shah willing. You know, because it speaks about in the book of Romans, who have escaped his will, which a will goes into a desire, determination, or wish. Right? Who have escaped the Lord's will? Nobody can. So if it's the Lord's will to destroy you today, then you're going to be destroyed. Right? So this rich man, this parable, he thought within himself that he's going to, build greater. He's going to get greater. He's going to take down his barns and build an even greater barn to store his substance. Which when I go into it, he dies before even building it. And that's likened unto you, Jakes, man. My people, man. The Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, man. In society. Always running for that money. Always running for success and riches, man. Not trying to be content with what they have. Right? I remember seeing a little post. A little, image. Not a post, but, Yeah, let's say it like that. A post where a man is running after a dollar, and you see this man body ends up, collapsing and becoming a skeleton, and up going into a grave. So while this man was, running for that dollar, he wasted his whole life running for that dollar, man. Right? Let's go back. Let's get Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. Right? Why this time you have in this world, you should, use this time searching for the truth, seeking after the truth. Seeking spiritual riches, man. Right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 16. All right. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. Right, it says, a man's heart deviseth his way. Like I said, going to the word deviseth, it goes into plans, determinations, desires, wishes. For example, a man, desire to what? Gain a family. Gain a family, children. That's a man's desires. Right? It says, or his device. It says, a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. Which when you go into the word step, in a blue letter, it goes into a course of life. Right? And who directs a man's course of life? The Lord do. Right? This is the Lord's story. He's the author he's the author. And this reality, this existence is the Lord's story, if you will. Right? He writes the characters. He makes the characters. Right? The Lord is the author, if you will. And sometimes characters, side stories get cut short. And that's exactly what's going to happen in America, with these so-called rich people who's prospering, only having concerns in this world. Their joy, these Americans' joy, is going to be cut short. Right? Famine is coming. Famine is nigh at hand. Right? All that time, you spent, joying in those riches. Soon famine gonna come. How you gonna eat that rich with that money you got? Soon the dollar's gonna collapse. You've been searching for the dollar. You've been seeking after the dollar for so long. Then, what happens? Next week, the dollar collapse. The economy collapse. Then somebody kick down your doors, and take you out of your houses, man. Right? These are the things that's gonna happen, man. Let's go. Let's get Job chapter 13, verse 27. Right, Job chapter 13, verse 27. It says, "Thou puttest my feet also in the stocks," which when you go into a stock, is somewhat a restraint on the feet, somewhat like chains, if you will. Which what is stocks used for? To restrain you, to stop you. Right? Because the Lord, He can stop your life. Right? He can stop your prosperity, your success, any moment. It says, "Thou puttest my feet also in the stocks, and lookest narrowly unto all my paths. Thou settest a print upon the heels of my feet." Right? Let's go back to the book of let's go back to the parable. Luke chapter 12, verse 18. It says, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And like I said, I'm going line upon line. Because it's this one scripture holds a lot of understanding. Right? But going into it, he said within himself, he gonna build greater. And that's in the minds of our people. Right? They want greater. They want a bigger house. They so sad with being content with what they have. They want, better, man. They just always want better. Which that's vanity of itself. That's empty of itself, man. Because when you get what you want, what your heart's desire in this world, you still gonna be in a terrible case. You still gonna be miserable. You still gonna be vanity. You still not gonna make it. You still not gonna get salvation. So better it is to be content with what you have. Whether it's But I'm gonna get a precept. Let's get Proverbs chapter 23, verse 4. So this rich man, he said within himself, I'm gonna build greater. Let's get Proverbs chapter 23, verse 4. When you go into the book of Ecclesiastes, the preacher, he wrote about his acts on him, building houses, building great works, getting abundance, getting his great substance, having handmaids, building a pool, building all type of things. But when you go deeper into that, into those scriptures, he even called it vanity. Right? And if I'm not mistaken, the preacher is Solomon. If I'm not mistaken. So from the preacher's own experience, he said this is vanity. And he had great substance. He had great abundance. Right? But Proverbs chapter 23, verse 4. It says, labor not to be rich. Seize from thy own wisdom. So don't labor to be rich. Right? Don't labor to be rich. Also another advice I could give you is what? Don't desire to be poor either, but don't desire to be rich. Be content with what you have. Be financially stable. Right? Be content with what you have, man. Right? Because ultimately, what's in a lot of our people's minds is what? Gaining generational wealth. For their kids. Not even knowing that, you might even not make it to have kids, man. This world could end next. I'm not going to say, I'm not prophesying or anything like that, but this world is about to end, man. It's not in hand. Because these prophecies and these signs is forewarning you of the end. Right? It says, labor not to be rich. Seize from thine own wisdom. It says, verse 5, wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? Yeah, you setting your eyes upon riches, which is ultimately transitory. Forgive me if I'm saying that word wrong, but when you go into the word transitory, it goes into, here one moment and gone another, which is synonymous to the word temporary. Right? That which is seen, that which is in this world is all temporary. All this is going to fade away. All this is going to perish. Especially when those nukes come to destroy this land, which is prophesied in the Bible, man. And one thing that was always foolish, that I always thought was foolish, which when I used to, watch, a couple of shows, is, that these so-called people, these kings, if you will, which when they are close to death, they will bury their treasure in the ground, and they thought, that it was gonna come with them in the afterlife. That was always foolish to me. And they used to do that in the ancient days as well, man. They will bury treasure in a grave, man, because they wanted to come after them in the afterlife. That was very foolish, man. That shit not coming with you, man. But if you lay up treasures in heaven, that's a good thing. That's a very profitable thing. Right? It says, wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. So really, you're going to always keep searching, man. Some get it, some get the riches, and some don't. Still both, those that get it and those that don't get it, still both miserable and going to have, the same end, which is death. Luke chapter 12, verse 18. Matter of fact, let's get Salakia. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 4. So don't be that man, one greater. Why it speaks about cares of this life. The cares of this life goes into distractions. Right? In the book of Mark or in the book of Matthew, it speaks about, it goes into the parable of the sower or of the seed. Right? Sometimes the seed fall upon the ground where there's thorns, and the thorns choke it up. Those thorns are likened unto or symbolic for the cares of this life or the deceitfulness of riches. The thorns can choke you, drown you. So the deceitfulness of riches and the cares of this life can choke you, man, and distract you from what is really valuable, which is this faith. This truth is valuable, precious. So don't be that seed that's getting choked up by the thorns. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 4. It says, I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. And this is going into the experience of the preacher. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the preacher is Solomon. And forgive me if I'm wrong. Right? This is, concerning on how, this concerning of his labors, of his experience, what he did in this life. And it's very profitable unto thee. Right? He says, I made me great. This is what he said. I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards. I planted trees in them of all kind of fruits. I made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also, I had great possession of great and small cattle, above all that were in Jerusalem before me. So he just, off the top, this man had, great substance and great abundance, more than a regular man. It says, I gathered me also silver and gold, and a peculiar treasure, forgive me of the tongue. It says peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. So this man had more than all they that was in Jerusalem. More substance than all they that were in Jerusalem. Like I said, he had more than a regular man. It says, also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever my eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy. For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. So this man, everything that he desired, Salakia for the noise. Everything that this man desired, he got. Right? It says, this the point, verse 11. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity. Let's read it again. It says, and behold, all was vanity. Like I said, when you go into the word vanity, it goes into emptiness, empty, unprofitableness, even goes into fruitless. So these things are vanity. Having great substance is vanity. Right? It says, and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. That's the point. It says, and there was no profit under the sun. Like I said, the noise is going to be in the background. When it happens, I'm going to stop talking. But when it stops, I'm going to continue talking. Bear with me. So there's no profit under the sun. Let's get Proverbs chapter 30, verse 7. This Proverbs chapter 30, verse 7. It says, 2 things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. So that's, should be your focus, removing from yourself, or having vanity being removed from you. It says, but this the point. It says, give me neither poverty nor riches, feed me with food convenient for me. So basically he said, give me neither poverty nor riches. I mean, I don't want to be poor, nor do I want to be rich. So don't desire to be poor to the point where you got be reliant on another man, on another person. Be or be dependent, or be have independence financially, if you will. Being financially stable, but don't desire to be rich. And that's one of the greatest advice for a lot of you brothers, man, and you sisters. It's okay to have a normal home. It's okay, drive a normal car. Because I tell you this, that the elect hope, our hope is what? That this world be destroyed. Our hope is what? For this world to be destroyed, and we know it's going to happen soon. And to what? Make it to the kingdom of heaven, man. It says, seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, man. Right? Because that's, our mind cannot fathom of the greatness of the kingdom, of the world to come. So, be patient in this world. Right? Be content in this world, because something going to happen. Something greater is going to come, which is the world to come. It says, feed me with food convenient for me. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's sufficient. So, ultimately, we don't, a lot of, small, I don't know how to put it in words, but, really, brothers got, things that's sufficient for them already, man. Right? Salakia, but let's get Job chapter 6, verse 27. Verse 28, Salakia. Job chapter 6, verse 28. It says, now therefore, and this is Job speaking, it says, now therefore be content. Look upon me, for it is evident unto you if I lie. Yeah, this Job's words. All right, this is Job's word. It says, now therefore be content. Which when you go into the word content, and forgive me, I'm I don't know it by heart, but I'm gonna try to guess. It means being contained or being satisfied. So what you got right now, the normal house, the normal car, you know, normal clothing, be satisfied, man. Be content. Be contained, if you will. Contain yourself of desiring all these other things, man. Because I know being in this flesh, it desires a lot, man. This flesh wants a lot. It wants a lot, man. You gotta contain yourself. Now I'm not, knocking down any brother that's, seeking another house or, a better car or anything like that. But don't desire to have an abundance and be rich, man. It's okay, you want, better for yourself, a little better for yourself. But don't desire to be rich, man. Maybe your car breaking down. Alright, then get you another car. Your house fucked. Alright, then get you a better house. I'm not knocking you brothers down, man. But don't desire abundance. Don't be covetous, man. Don't be desiring riches, man. It says, now therefore be content. Look upon me, for it is evident unto you if I lie. Yeah, cause Job, he's an example of a man that had great abundance, but lost it. Right? Job had a family. He had, many substance. He had many animals, cattle. He had, houses, a great house. He had a lot, but it's all wiped away. It was all taken away from him. Speedily, it was all taken away from him. Right? So, also Job, when you go into the end of the story, or in the end of the chronicle, if you will, which this actually happened, everything in this Bible is true. When I say story, I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that, but this is a real thing that happened. In the end, he had great substance. He gained great substance, right, in the end. So, we may go through it right now, right? We may not have anything, but in the end, we're going to have great things, right? We're going to become kings and priests, because Yahweh Shai is going to make us joint heirs, man. Joint heirs, like it says in the book of Romans. We going to be joint heirs, man, with the king that shall reign in the everlasting kingdom, man. Right, we shall be a part of that mountain. That shall what? Mountain goes into a government or a kingdom or rulership. We gonna be a part of that, man. Under Yahweh Shai. That's why the apostle will liken his hope onto a lively hope. A lively hope. This is one of the greatest hopes that you can have, man. And it shall not fail, man. Right, let's go back to the book of Luke. Let's go back to the parable. Luke chapter 12, verse 18. It says, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to and this is what the foolish rich man say to himself. It says, I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. It says, he said to himself to take thine ease, man. So basically, he think he gonna be without care. And that's a lot of people in this country, man. They're without care, right? They have a false sense of security, right? Right? They not worrying about anything. Right? They got all the entertainment that they could, ask for. Which I got a couple of precepts on that before I finish this off. I want Zephaniah. Right? Because, really Jake in America, when he get abundance, he really in ease. He really in comfort. Right? Which the scripture says, woe unto you that, woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation, which consolation goes into comfort. Right, so woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. You are already comforted in this life. Right, but that's going to be taken away. Woe means distress. So let's get Zephaniah, man. Because really, that's the end goal of our people, man. Right? That's why, the scriptures will liken, Jake, which when I say Jake, I'm talking about the ordinary Israelite, right? When I say or the simple Israelite, man. When I say Jake, you know what I mean. So Jake, really, that's his end goal. That's the end of his tunnel vision, to be at ease with money in great abundance. That's his end game. Which that's simple, man. This Zephaniah chapter 2, Salakia chapter 1, verse 12. It says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles. And when they say Jerusalem, it's talking about the black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Right? It says, and punish the men that are settled on their lees. Which when you go into the word settled on their lees, it goes into be complacent or to be stagnant. Right? That's really a lot of our people, man. They complacent. Right there, they satisfied with America. Right there, they okay with this. They okay with America, which this really hell, man. Hey, I want to get out of this place. I want the world to come. It says that say in their hearts. This is the point. That say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. Right, so you got a lot of fake Christians, modern day Christians, right, that say in their hearts that the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. So basically, they good, they think they got salvation already, which when we not saved, man. He that endureth unto the end saved, man. Right, but that adds on to their sense of comfort, their false sense of security. Right, so they don't have no sense of urgency to what? Get right with the Lord. But they have a sense of urgency to get rich. That's confusion, man. Alright, let's get Amos. Alright, this is a very, good scripture right here. All scripture is good. Let's get Amos. It's Amos chapter 6, verse 1. It says, woe to them that are at ease in Zion. It says, woe to them that are at ease in Zion, which ease is synonymous to the word secure. So they have a false sense of security. Right? It says, and trust in the mountains of Samaria. Right? Because our people trust in the mountains, not Samaria, but America. Right? In the kingdom of America. Right? It says, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel came. Jump down to verse 4. Right? Verse 4. It says that lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches. Is that not our people, man? Kicking their feet up without care, watching television, entertainment, getting entertained, partying. Right? Anything that, provides, pleasure and comfort, our people use. It says that lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs out of the flock and the cows out of the midst of the stall, that chant to the sound of the vow and invent to themselves instruments of music, like David. Listen to, all manner of type of music, basically in a mindset of reveling, meaning rebellion, partying, drinking, just living it up, right? And this word always stuck with me, YOLO. You only live once, right? And I'm sure that word stuck with a lot of our people, whether they know it or not. They in that mindset of what? Doing what they will. Do what thou wilt. Being in access. Being in abundance. No moderation. No, not being in a mindset. Really, they not in a mindset of preparing themselves before the coming of the Lord. You gotta prepare ourselves, man. Right? But I'm gonna close out on that. Let's go back to Luke chapter 12. And I'm gonna just finish it off. It says Luke chapter 12, verse 19. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. Don't be like that. It says, but God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So, basically, that night, his soul was taken away from him. Basically, that rich man, he died, man, that later that night. Right? He was thinking about the future in this world, but he ended up dying. He ended up not making it to that future. So really, it shows you that. It shows you the vanity of our people today. Like I said, parable goes into a similar or a similarity, if you will. It's a parallel, if you will. It says, verse 21, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. So you gotta be rich towards God, man. Be spiritually rich, man. Get this, seek knowledge and understanding. Seek seek wisdom. Right? I'm gonna close out on that. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Double honor to the elders of the house of David. Peace and blessings unto the elect. Salute and shalom to the fellow laborers in his truth. And all praises and honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.